Today we're going to talk about the two most important things about singing. What do you think they are?
Shut up and sing with Heather.
Hi, thank you so much for coming to Shut Up and Sing. My name's Heather. Let's get straight to it. Today we're going to talk about the two most important things about singing. What do you think they are? Posture and breathing. Let's start with posture. First of all, we need to remember that our body is our instrument. If we played another instrument and we didn't have proper posture, it's not going to sound right. Trumpet going down here, flute going down there. It's not going to be an optimal performance. Same thing with singing. Our body's now our instrument, and we really need to think about our posture. So we're going to start with that basic posture your mom always told you about. You want your shoulders back and a nice straight spine. I like to think about a string coming right out of the back of my spine, and then my shoulders over my hips over my ankles. Everything is nice and aligned. I also need to remember not to put my chin up. That's kind of my thing. I like to look for the spotlight, but I can't do that because it pulls things out of alignment. We'll get to that in just a minute. So nice and straight spine, and we've got our shoulders back because we're going into our second most important thing, breathing, and we need to have that sternum nice and open so we have lots of room to put that breath in, okay? So now that we've got our singer's posture, we need to think about where our larynx is, or our voice box, right? That's where the sound's coming out of, and it's right in our throat. So put your hand over your throat and say, hello. That's good. You can hear it vibrating. So here's my fancy diagram for the larynx. Here it is. This is your larynx. These are the muscles attached to your larynx. And then they're attached to a bone called the hyoid bone. Everything's connected. Now, if you've ever had that feeling where you've sang too high, too long, too loud, too something, and you think something might just pop right out of your throat, well, that's the larynx being pulled out of alignment. We always want the larynx to stay in what we call a comfortably low position. And so if we know everything's connected and we know that we want this area right here especially to stay nice and relaxed, so I get my good singer's posture and I take a breath. Uh-oh, something doesn't look very relaxed here, right? So this is when we get into breathing for singing. Maybe when you're doing that aerobic activity and you take that deep breath, you might really feel it up in the upper half of your lungs. But for singing, we're going to do things a little bit different because we've got to keep everything relaxed. We're going to think about taking that low breath nice and low into the belly, okay? So as we inhale, we're still filling up the upper half of our lungs, but we're going to focus on the lower half. Now you may really feel the expansion in the front of the belly, or you may feel it on the side. Heck, you may even feel it in the back. That's okay, as long as it stays low and we're keeping everything as relaxed as possible up by our larynx. So we inhale, get a nice big belly, and then we exhale, and we want everything to come up, to contract up. I actually like to think about the belly coming in and up, and it helps me from collapsing in on that exhalation like we sometimes have a tendency to do. I call it the taco. Taco up. No, we're not doing that. So when we inhale, we get a nice big belly, and then when we exhale, we think about the belly coming in and up, and we keep that posture. Hey, if I keep having to realign my posture every time I take a breath, I'm going to be exhausted. I'm not going to make it to page 3, and my singing is not going to be optimal. So this breathing technique is not difficult, but it does just take a little bit of muscle memory. Kind of pretend like if I were to ask you to brush your teeth with your left hand when you're really right-handed. You can do it. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get that muscle memory down. So this is the same situation. I like to start out with a simple breathing technique where we just inhale for 4 counts and we exhale for 8 counts, and we do it 3 times in a row. You can vary this counting exercise. You could do in for 8, out for 4, in for 2, out for 10. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure you do at least 3 rotations of the exercise. And that way you're going to start to feel the breath become cyclical, just like in a song. We inhale and then we exhale, and then we inhale and then we exhale. And we want to try to have that same kind of sensation. Okay? So we just inhale and we exhale. And now 2 more times, okay? Now, I do advocate for mouth breathing. I know that sounds a little weird, but I really do advocate for that. I know a lot of teachers out there and choir directors talk about nose breathing. I get it. But personally, I don't have time in a song to take a breath if I only have half a beat to take that breath in, right? That's not going to get me what I need. but that might get me what I need, right? Learning how to take that breath nice and low. So I hope this is helpful. Always think about the two most important things about singing, posture and breathing. Thank you so much for coming to Shut Up and Sing. I'm Heather. Now go shut up and sing.